I think that was part 1 of our video. Part 2 is Mount Pleasant south on Highway 17 through Mount Pleasant over the Ravenel Bridge. And then this will pick up from the Ravenel Bridge, turning onto I-26 westbound, so back toward the center of South Carolina. If we just stayed on this road that we're on now, heading this direction, we would basically bisect the state of South Carolina all the way up to what we call the upstate, the mountain region of South Carolina, and then end up in Asheville, North Carolina, Hendersonville area. Another gorgeous area, but another video for another day. Don't know if I'll take my FJ on that one, because the gas mileage in this is horrendously bad. Matter of fact, just on our little tour, which hasn't been more than 30 or 40 minutes so far, we've already used a quarter tank of gas. This whole intersection here that we're looking at, this fancy intersection, is all a new superstructure to feed the new North Charleston port. I will link a Google Earth picture. You're going to see the port in the Google Earth footage. On dash cam viewer, but I'll try to do a still picture of it too. At least flash it in so we can see what I'm talking about, the North Charleston port. The original port was supposed to be on Daniel Island. Little history lesson here, thanks to my friend Patrick Mullins, who is a longtime resident of Mount Pleasant, and I would call him almost a political historian. He has definitely kept his finger on the pulse of South Carolina politics, especially lowcountry politics. The original port was supposed to be on Daniel Island, and the port invested heavily in Daniel Island infrastructure for the port. And when they realized how pretty Daniel Island was going to be, and that it was going to be some prime real estate, the high muckety-mucks in society decided that they didn't want an ugly port with a bunch of 18-wheelers and port infrastructure, and they said, thank you very much for building the infrastructure, now get the hell out. And so the port was built here in North Charleston. We already have one container port right down the river. They built another container port upriver for the bigger ships. And to be honest with you, yay, because number one, we don't have to move freight off of an island, which would have been a choke point. And number two, even though I love North Charleston is an industrial center. We are an industrial center, entertainment center, not so much tourist. That's more behind us, the historic city of Charleston area. But yay, North Charleston. For the longest time, I'm not sure if it's still the case, North Charleston was the #1 economy in the state. I would not doubt it a bit if that is still the case. What we're going to do, instead of jumping onto 526, which was my initial plan, what I'm going to do is take us all the way on I-26 to Aviation, the Aviation exit. Reason being, I was just discussing us being such a big economy in the state. I figured this is a perfect segue into talking at least about one of the reasons that is, and that is the new Boeing plant up here on South Aviation. and it'll give me a little bit of an opportunity to talk about the history of the airport, and we'll see kind of the old airport terminal. And what the heck, I may even do a very, very short video on the Charleston International Airport now. I won't do it in this video, I'll split it. Got some debris in the roadway. Looks like a blown tire. I will split it because and that'll only be like a short 4 or 5 minute video. We don't have, even though it's a beautiful airport, I'm going to give it 2 thumbs way up. I don't think it's going to be a particularly long video because we don't have a large airport. Alright, we are still on I-26 westbound. Just crossed over a couple of the major North Charleston exits, and we are going to exit onto Aviation. Aviation is our exit. This exit is a little bit odd, that it feeds 2 major roads, both Remount Road here, and yes, that's where back in the day there was a remount. You see, we exited once, and then this exit splits into 2 more exits. Remount Road to the right. We're staying to the left because we want to hit Aviation. Be surprised how many people miss this exit, need to get off on Aviation, but by then, they're out of luck. They have to go down to the next major exit, which I want to say is Ashley Phosphate. Ashley Phosphate area, a whole different video for a whole different day. Alright, Air Force Base, Aviation Avenue. Off to our right, again, we have Rivers Avenue. Rivers, like we mentioned in the first video, was the artery, the industrial hub artery, before I-26 was built. Rivers is Highway 52. And so even the god of red lights in North Charleston is frowning upon me. What we'll probably hit here is a time compression. Alright, we're on Aviation Avenue. We had just turned off of I-26. Heading toward Aviation. Should say South Aviation. So the road that circumvents the airport. This building dead ahead, and all this structure and infrastructure dead ahead, is all part, excuse me again, of the old airport. This used to be our primary terminal. This is before Charleston had the what are they called, the big telescoping boarding ramps that leave the terminal and go out, jetways, jet walks that go out to the airplanes. Back in the day here, in fact, you can see our old control tower up ahead. All this is still used, but it's used with civilian commuter, smaller airplanes. At least I think that tower is still used. I may be wrong about that. Everything, there's still a lot of traffic there, so I think it is. If somebody knows more about Charleston Aviation than I, please mention if that tower is still active. The car is smart. They are doing the speed limit. This area is still patrolled by the Aviation Authority police, and you see that we're talking 35 miles an hour. And God love them, but they don't have a whole lot to do. Their jurisdiction isn't huge, so they do patrol these roads fairly frequently. Knock on wood, I've never been pulled over by Aviation Authority police. Being a retired cop myself, hopefully they would have mercy on my soul. I don't want anybody to ever think that that's a written rule somewhere that cops don't give other cops tickets, because it is not a rule. You know, I can make jokes. It's my channel, right? What's the old joke about why sharks don't attack lawyers? Professional courtesy. Cops, for the most part, don't write other cops tickets unless we do something real stupid. Well, if we do that, there's no getting around it. And call it professional courtesy, right? So, this will probably be the end of this segment, because I'm thinking that we're going to be hitting the 15-20 minute mark. But when we talk about North Charleston being such a big economy, and one of the reasons why, I'm going to turn, so I'm going to be out of footage again. This is one of the reasons why, the Boeing plant right here. Look at all these planes. I love, it's one of my favorite things to do, is when I'll take this ride, even though it's a little bit longer than hitting 526, because I love to look at the tail markings on the brand new Dreamliners lined up here. KLM. I'm not sure what that one is. I've never seen that one before. I want to say that one's heading to Australia. Is that one Delta or Singapore? Anyway, just the tail paintings on here. I got to talk to Boeing someday and see if they actually have a graphic of all the beautiful artwork they do on the tails. That one there looks like it's going to Saudi or Singapore or Dubai, or palm trees and cross swords. So we're probably cutting off here. If we do anything, the next one may just be a very, very quick video on the Charleston International Airport. Tour Eclectic, we'll see you on the next video.